Hello, 8th grade artists, and welcome back. So last week's creative challenge, we got to practice value, okay? So that was practicing pushing harder and then lighter with our pencils or our objects, our different art materials, to see how dark we could get them to go and how light we could get them to go, okay? So you practiced with a variety of scales. Now we really get to put the skill of value to the test. So what you're going to do for this week's creative challenge, and as you might notice, I'm flipping back to creative challenge number 5, which was our contour line drawing. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take colored materials, and you can do this also just with pencil, okay? So it can just be pencil or pen or whatever you've got available, but you can also have some fun and add color. And I'm going to practice value now. So I'm going to go back to my contour line drawing. And you don't have to go back to this exact contour line drawing. If you want to pick a new object and start a new drawing, you can start a new drawing for this week's challenge, okay? So you're going to draw a contour line drawing or go back to the one that you already have, and you are going to practice adding value now, okay? So now I'm looking closely, just like always, but this time I'm noticing, instead of just the outside lines and inside lines, I'm also going to notice where I see value, okay? So right off the bat, I see a really dark value where the stems of the leaves are. So I am taking a brown color. You can pick the same colors that you notice, or you can maybe have some fun with it and switch colors up. All I care about is if you're getting the darks and if you're getting the lights, okay? So where I notice light in my leaves, which would be the top sections where it starts to turn into yellow, that is where I am going to push lighter with my colored pencils, okay? And for you, it will be whatever you're choosing to use. If you choose graphite, you'll just have a black and white colored value drawing. That's totally fine too, okay? You'll just push harder with the graphite where you notice darkness, okay? So I'm hoping that I'm making a bit of sense, and I hope that this demo will kind of give you a visualization of what this is going to start to look like, okay? I know not all of you drew leaves, right? I know some people drew helmets, some people drew controllers, some had animals, some had candles, there might have just been objects in front of them, so things like that. So you're just going to go back to that object and look closely and fill in the contour line drawings with some value. Or you might choose to just draw something new. You're like, I didn't really like that contour line drawing, maybe I want to try something new, and you will practice adding value into your new object, okay? The fun thing about using colors at the same time, I'm also practicing how I can kind of blend my colors together. Okay, and you want this to look nice and neat. All right, so I'm pushing a little bit harder along the tips of the leaves, because on my example, it might be hard for you to see over the camera, but on my example, it turns into a little bit of orange right at the top of the little spiky parts of the leaves, okay? So that's where I'm drawing those in a little bit darker, because that's what I notice. So once again, my eyes are always going to go back to that object in front of me. Never at any point should I just be making stuff up out of my head, okay? Because that just won't look right. It won't look right once you get to the paper, right? And I notice towards the bottom of my leaves, maybe it's getting a little bit darker, so maybe I'll add a darker color. Take some red in there. And I'm going to push a little bit harder to get the dark values in there, okay? So that is how you will be pushing the value technique. So you got to practice value scales. But now you're really going to put value to the test, and you're going to try your best, add value into an object, and that is going to make it look more realistic. Okay, so each and every week you are practicing really important skills, and you're actually growing as artists, whether you believe it or not. If you're putting the time in and you're doing these weekly drawings, you're practicing those skills and you're getting better and better. The more you practice it, it's kind of like a sport. The more you practice it, the better you're going to get at it, okay? So I will continue coloring this in. I won't make you watch me color this entire leaf. But you can view the completed value drawing in my teacher example, okay? All right, good luck, artists.